Okay, Will Gray posted issue 173 Women on Magus Doran and pure male magic and its lore. And Will, I appreciate you putting pure male magic in quotation marks and lore in quotation marks. The most expansive and enigmatic, enchanting, dare I say, magical, quote, snapshot, unquote, in the entire storyline. Thank you. Dave leaving this mystique here and only touching very obliquely on this in minds was deft. And thank you again for the compliment. But all these years later, I intend to ask about it in his Q&A community feature. And Matt said...
I'm sorry, can you phrase that in the form of a question?
And I think if Will was here, he'd go, probably not. And he said, Ketagurn of the city of your father's birth, surely we can't call Sandhills Creek a city. Cerebus' father lived in Sandhills Creek and was like probably as close to a permanent resident as you can get of Sandhills Creek. But I don't think he was born there. I think he was born in a city. This is remembering decades later, but I'll interject on that. Otherwise, though, those four Zen lines definitely evoke what we know of Ishuria adjacent, sea, form, and void, plus, quote, the bell, unquote, reminds me of, say, a church bell that Cerebus was terrified by the Terramite preacher at and became ultimately a Terram-fearing Terramite himself. His reaction to Bran McMuffin singling out a gold coin minted by Terram. Will, you're a guy who knows your Cerebus inside and out. You're following all this as well, Matt?
Yeah. I mean, I'm mentally going, okay, this is the image I gotta find from this phone book, this is the image I gotta find from that phone book, because that's part of what this job is.
Right. Would Sandhills Creek really have a mage patron, in quotation marks? Legend seems to be like, quote, colon, unquote here. As I said, Zen riddle. Here's the bird that never flew. Here's the tree that never grew. Here's the bell that never rang. Here's the fish that never swam. I would tend to think that I got that from somewhere, and if the mage patron of the city of his father's birth, did you, let me just ask you, Matt, right now, can you Google search Ketagurn and see what you turn up?
Yeah. Let me see if I can spell it right. Wait a minute. I can do this the easy way. Come on. There it is. Copy and paste. I don't know what to type. This is why you don't have the internet.
Exactly.
Okay, let me make sure that I spelled it right. Okay. So, Google auto-corrected it from Ketagurn to Kentagurn, which brings up Saint Mungo. And he was a missionary in the Britannic kingdom of Strathchild in the late 6th century and founder and patron saint of the city, I want to say it's Lanark. Oh, patron saint of the city of Glasgow.
That's what I was guessing. I had run across this somewhere reading about Glasgow and grafted the city of my father's birth. He was born in Glasgow. So I'm assuming that having read that somewhere, and that occurred at an opportune moment at when I was writing this part or coming up on this part and going, boy, that really bookends with the here is the stag of seven tines, et cetera, which starts off mothers and daughters, and made a nice bookending on it. So there's the this is a meeting point where Dave Sim becomes Cerebus because Cerebus's father is Ken Sim, metaphorically.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, as much as you may have annoyed your father, he never wanted to pound you like the gorilla wanted to kill Bugs Bunny.
Right. Although it's the same kind of spirit. And then he continues, I think I got it. Could it be like the city of God, New Jerusalem, a figurative city of male potential, that Joseph never really achieved anything, and he didn't understand anything about Cerebus from his off-screen conversation with Magus Doran in Mines. He was a simple man, and Cerebus's mother was of the nurse/Ada Talbert mold. So, in line with that, maybe Kentigern doesn't exist literally either. And it's like, does he or doesn't he? Evidently, this is part of Glasgow's legend. Is the spelling correct that Google is using, or is the spelling correct that I was using?
I think you forgot the first N, because it is Ken, Kentigern, and you have it without that first N.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Wherever I read it, I'm pretty sure that I copied it as faithfully as I could. Did they get it wrong, or is Google getting it wrong?
Well, and see, here's the fun part. The way you have it is in Real Life in London by an amateur, Pierce Egan. And when was this published? Oh, come on. First published in 1905. Or wait. I found Project Gutenberg has a scan, but they also the scan is also digitized. So I'm reading the digital text, going, "Wait, is this what it actually says?" So Real Life in London, parts 1, 2, and 3 from either 1905 or 1821, and the quote that shows up on Google is, "Kentigern, whether the Blue Devils were flying around or not, I could not exactly discover, but the whiskey and blue rune were evidently powerful in there," and that's where it stops.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting reading the block of text now because this was pre-monotheism for me, pre-Bible. And here's the problem with that I see with magic in terms of Rick Veitch and as far as I know, Steve Bissett and Alan Moore all believe that magic is the encompassing umbrella that overarches religion and belief in God and gods and all that kind of thing. And it's like, you're welcome to give that a try, but I and obviously you are, but I think you're going to get into trouble there, because I think you've got a very small cart, or a very small cart in front of a very large horse, and it's that, as LBJ used to say, that dog won't hunt. But thank you for for bringing this back to my attention. I was completely unfamiliar with this block of text. It's like, obviously it's from Cerebus. Obviously I did write it, but it was one of those things that once as long as I just, as you say, just sort of touch on this obliquely, I think this is going to add a layer of depth of meaning. It is the what I see as magic's problem of having much in common with the double helix, in terms of if we could just have been obedient to God, we could probably have been a single helix, but we're spiraling into infinity along the male-female dichotomy, and I think we have only ourselves to blame for that. If we had just had more confidence in God and believed when God said, if God describes himself as he, God is he, and everything else is just pointless obfuscation that's going to take 15 billion years on planet Earth to fully hatch out and fully be dealt with. But we're just going to find out, no, God was right all along, is my personal take on that. And I think it's interesting, like I say, looking at this in retrospect and saying, well, I didn't know where I was going with this, but this is obviously where I was going.